they're a life form. They're an organism, but they weren't born on Earth. They're not from Earth. They could literally be a person who isn't from Earth if they just give birth in space. And space is so weird. Like, jellyfish were sent to space, and jellyfish don't have brains. They don't have anything. They literally just float around. They're alive, but they aren't. Exist. They literally exist just to exist. They have no purpose. They have no reason to be alive. There's like, I guess you could argue that no one has a reason to be alive, like, but at the same time, like freaking mosquitoes, their purpose is they drink blood and they make more babies. They do all that, basically everything. Their purpose is to make babies. But jellyfish just literally are just there. They just float. And it's so weird because jellyfish, when they got sent to space, they had no idea how to float. They were like all uncoordinated, and they couldn't adjust. They couldn't stay upright. But then they had jellyfish born in space, and for some reason, somehow, they were adjusted to space because they were born in space. So isn't that weird? I think they also did it with fish. Fish were sent to space, and they had no idea how to swim in space. They were just kind of floating around in circles. But then after a couple of days, they figured out how to swim in space. And then when they gave birth, their babies already knew how to swim in space. So literally, fish could be aliens that got sent to Earth, and they swim so naturally in our rivers. But that's just because they've been here for a long time, so they figured it out. Everything, scientists opened a cave with and that was closed for 5 million years. It was closed, no humans, and they found like animals inside. Why would you open it? Just leave it closed. Like, you have no idea what's in there. You have no idea how things are in there. There's so many things like that. There's a lot. Like, I don't understand people who don't believe in Bigfoot because, like, I believe in Bigfoot because, like, why not? But why is it really that hard to believe? Like, have you ever... Same with unicorns. People don't believe in unicorns, and I'm like, well, like, have you ever seen a giraffe? Like, think about it. A deer is a horse with 2 really complicated looking horns. So what's up with, why was it so hard to believe that a horse could have 1 horn? That's just a little smoother, maybe. Like, giraffes are harder to believe in. Imagine if someone who had never seen a giraffe before, all they'd ever seen was like maybe regular horses, and you try to describe a giraffe to them. You're like, it's a horse, but it's like 40 feet tall. What are you gonna, like, how are you gonna say that? It's literally, it's so hard to believe. But is it really hard to believe that a horse just has a horn? Like, it's not that hard to believe. And also, it could have just been, so, like, okay, imagine moose. Moose, adult male moose, are tall enough so that a grown man can walk, like, under their legs and not even touch the moose. Because they're just that tall. Like, if a moose was standing above you, a grown, like, average height man could walk under a moose, and they wouldn't even make contact with the moose, because that's just how tall they are. So, trying to describe a moose to someone from across the world, because moose are only in specific areas, it would like get so complicated, and probably they would get the wrong idea, because you can't really describe it that well unless they see the moose. So maybe someone saw something similar to a unicorn, and when they tried to describe it, it just somehow got miscalculated to the unicorn that we have pictured today. There's a lot of mythical creatures that can just be explained as like a miscalculation, like Bigfoot. There used to be a monkey. I had a Loch Ness monster. Like, someone could have just seen a log floating down the river, and then they said, "Hey, yo, that looks like an animal," and then they started writing about it. Yeah. Or it could have actually been an animal. but it's just extinct now. Like, imagine the 5 million-year-old cave. There could be anything in there. What if literally the Loch Ness Monster just went into that cave and never came out, and we just have no idea that it's in there? There's like prehistoric dinosaurs that look exactly like the Loch Ness Monster. What if someone just saw the last one ever? Because, I mean, how are we supposed to know how dinosaurs work? They were so long ago, we don't know if we have all the information, right? What if dinosaurs just lived really long, and there happened to be a Loch Ness Monster looking thing that lived really long, but it died? Or maybe it's still there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like, it's not hard to believe that we just made unicorns extinct. Like, think about it. What if we literally saw unicorns, and then people started killing them for the horn? So boom, unicorns are gone. You never know. Yeah, elephants are, like, they're being hunted into extinction. And yeah, they just like, the rich people just like having the tusks. And it's so confusing because, I mean, maybe since they're just some lousy rich person who doesn't care, they won't care, but in the yeah, I know, it's like, but that's the thing, because we probably won't. There's nothing we can do about it. Because we think, for example, like if our parents do something and we're like, well, at least we get to be better parents than them. Same with rich people. If we ever become rich, we're not gonna be like rich people today who don't donate. Like, you know, Donald Trump donated $400,000 to coronavirus, right? He spent $130 million on golf. So, if you think about that, if I was a rich person and I was as rich as the president, I would rather spend no money on golf and just donate my $130 million to something that actually matters. Yeah, and if we just share a little bit, because rich people of that kind of wealth, they don't even need that much money. You don't even need that much money to retire. You can live happily with like 1/3 of the money they have. Yeah, you can live off of $1 million. Like, you don't even need a giant house. If you just get a regular house, a car, everything like a regular person, you can just live your life happily. And you won't need to work, you won't need to do anything. And it's just off of 1 million. And it's like, if we keep going, there may not even be a future. And if we keep going, like, let's say that we actually do somehow survive and the Earth keeps going to the next generation, they won't even, people won't know what polar bears are. Kids will have to learn about polar bears in textbooks. These polar bears are going extinct. Pretty much the snow is going away. You know, the Earth if the Earth goes up 2 degrees, which actually I think it already did, it's irreversible now. We cannot reverse the damage. The only thing we can do is try and stop it. Like, not try and stop it, we have to try and slow it down. Because there's nothing we can do to stop it. I think I read something about how scientists are now worried because even, like, the magnetic field of the Earth is starting to decrease. I hate everything that's happening because oil companies, I know, because like I was just saying, oil companies are basically, like, they're a big part of the problem because of fossil fuels. They like really hurt the environment, but if they stop using them, the world has been changed forever because of fossil fuels. There is nothing, like, yeah, we need it. Like, just your stove needs it. but your stove hurts the environment. Your car needs it. And it's so easy to just brush it off because I could say, well, I'm gonna be dead before the world ends, so why would I care? But if you have kids, yeah, if you have kids, or if you know anyone younger than you, like if you have siblings, they're gonna live at least a little bit longer than you, you know? Like, so you're just leaving this old, broken world for them to fix. And by the time we leave it, we're not even gonna be able to fix it. Because, like I said, it's irreversible. There's nothing we can do other than we can try and slow it down. I know. And even if you did go back in time, who's gonna believe you? If you went up to some rich person who discovered oil for the first time, they'd be like, no, I'm not gonna listen to you. I want to get the money, so I'm gonna keep using my oil. There's nothing you can do about it. If we wanted to make a change, we would need everyone to work together. We would need everyone to band together and find a solution, but that's never gonna happen because in today's, how the world is today, there's just no peace. There's no peace. That we can't collaborate with other cultures. Like, we can't. If we just went up to China, yeah, I know. We can't literally just go up to China and say, like, yeah, because the message is good. They're just taking advantage of the situation that they can rob stores. It's... Why can't we all just work together? Because I know why we can't work together, because of how the world is. Like, there's no way that everyone's gonna be on the same page. There's probably people out there who would just, like, if we all started to work together, there'd be someone out there who would ruin it just because, who knows, they would just ruin it. And really, if you really want to make a change, yeah, you need a lot of people, but importantly, you need money. You can't do anything without money. Exactly. You can't do anything without money. You also have to be old enough, because right now, if we went out there, if we were, you know Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is, I think she's like a high schooler. I don't know, but she's a kid as well. So everyone made fun of her, and now people didn't really listen to her because of how young she is, but she's just trying to save the environment. People don't want to listen to kids. People don't want to listen to children, even though a lot of times kids are the most honest. Because a kid has nothing to hide. A kid doesn't care about money. But if you went up and asked a rich, old, white person, like something, they'd say whatever they needed to say to get votes. They'd say whatever they need to say to get more money. As long as they, like... Yeah. But if you ask a child, what do they have to lose if the public doesn't like their opinion? Because right now, if Donald Trump said the wrong thing, he's obviously going to get a whole bunch of people, like, rioting and protesting about it. And he's obviously going to avoid saying things so that he doesn't... He's going to avoid saying things so he doesn't lose votes and stuff. I know. Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm.
got him! By the tank! By the tank! There's one
When I think about my future, I don't really know what I want to do as like a job. All I know is, I mean, I want to have a YouTube channel, but obviously that's not gonna happen very soon. I mean, I don't doubt. I'm pretty sure eventually I'll have pretty good subscribers, but obviously it's not gonna happen anytime soon. So I'm not gonna depend on it as a job. But I want to have it on the side, and I just want to do something that I'll enjoy. I don't want to be forced to like do like fast food or work in an office just because it's the only thing I can do. Yeah, it's boring. I want to, maybe I'll make music, maybe I'll make art, maybe I'll do something that I'll enjoy. Because I'd rather make less money, but be happy doing my job. Because I want to be happy living. Yeah. I mean, pretty much if you're happy doing your job, then you're already rich enough, you know? As long as it supports you. And if it isn't enough, then yeah, you can have like a separate job on the side, but you should always have something that you enjoy doing. You should always have something that you're actually gonna be happy with. Because I don't think people who work in fast food or have like simple office jobs are happy. Because I mean, how could you be? It's so boring. There's nothing interesting in your life. All I know for sure is I want to have someone, like, I want to have a family. Yeah, I want to have someone, whether it's like my girlfriend and eventually I want to have a wife, but so yeah, I want to have a family and I want to have a job that I'll enjoy. I want to just live happily until I die, and I want to make a change because you don't know people, you don't learn about people, you don't know anyone unless they were big enough to actually make something. Unless they made something of themselves or unless they made an impact in the world. So I want to do something. I want to do something, yeah, to be remembered by. I want to have a legacy. I want to be the guy who did something. So that way when they think, well, for example, like if I invent something and they ever Google what I invented, they're gonna see my name because I'm the one who did it. Maybe I'll be somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, I know, but it doesn't have, you don't have to invent something. You could do anything. For example, like I said, what I was talking earlier about Greta. She's already gonna go down in history. She's gonna be famous for a long time. She's gonna be remembered for a long time, because maybe, yeah, she had a pretty good impact. She did good. She helped the world because she was like an activist for. I think she targeted people, basically like oil companies who hurt the planet. And maybe a lot of people made fun of her, and not a lot of people actually listened to her message because she was a kid. But she's gonna go down as a kid who actually did something. Everyone like Booga made history because he made $3 million off of Fortnite. People used to say that video games weren't a career. People, they were a waste of time. They were useless. And then here goes this 16-year-old kid becoming a millionaire off of a game, when all those boomers and people saying that video games are useless could only dream of making that much money. So obviously he was gonna go down in history as the 16-year-old kid who became a millionaire off of video games. I want to be someone like that. I want to have a thing, because right now, if you ask me who I am, who am I? if someone asked you, who are you? You don't know, but if you ask this, like, for example, the CEO of Google, he's gonna say, oh, I'm the CEO of Google. So I want to be able to say, yeah, I'm the guy who did this, or I'm the guy who's this, whatever. I just want to have something. So really, my goals in life are just, I want to have a family, or maybe I won't have a family, but I just want to have someone. I want to have someone there with me, and I want to be successful. Not successful as in I'll make a lot of money, but successful as in I'll be happy with my life and I'll be happy with my job. And finally, I just want to be someone who can be remembered. I don't want to just be another number, because you can look up how many people approximately have died, and you're not going to know any of them, because they just add to the number. They didn't do anything important, but there's always going to be people who stand out, and I just want to be one of them. That's pretty much it. Yeah, because obviously I don't want to be remembered like Hitler is, because Hitler's remembered as something horrible. I want to be remembered as someone who made a good impact in the world, someone who changed people's lives, someone who actually did something. So, like I said, you could invent, for example, something really good, like you could invent something that helps poor people in other countries, or you could invent something simple that just helps everyone. Or you could just do something, maybe you could go to somewhere, you could go to another country and help make a change. I just want my name to be remembered. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know, I don't actually know when I started doing this, but now I just want to be nice to people, because, like, if you're nice to someone, for example, let's say on GTA, sometimes people are toxic to me, and I'm not toxic back. Obviously, I used to be toxic back, and a lot of people are like that. If someone hurts you, why wouldn't you hurt them back? But a lot of times when someone kills me on GTA, I'm nice to them, and I don't... Yeah, there's those people who are toxic, and I just kill them until they leave, but, like, sometimes, yeah, I've made a lot of friends because they would kill me, and then I'd just compliment them and be like, oh, that was a good kill. And then they'd realize, well, why are they being toxic if I'm not being toxic? And then we would become friends. Like, I remember distinctly one time, I was in a 1v2 versus these two people, and, like, I'm really good with planes, like dogfights, but they actually managed to shoot me down, and I told them, like, you're actually pretty good with planes. That was like, you're good with planes because you shot me down. And so they stopped killing me. And for the rest of like the time that I played, they literally just flew around protecting me while I delivered my cargo. Because if you're nice to someone, they're going to be nice back. And I don't think there's a point in living if you're not going to be nice to people. If you're just going to be mean to them, then, like, why? Like, what's the point of being mean to someone? What do you get out of it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when it didn't even matter if you won or not. It was just about having a good time. Yeah, if you lost, well, let's just load into another match. Who really cared? But nowadays, if you die, everyone just calls you trash because you didn't win. But back then, it was just, the game was actually a game. It's like that song I sent you, where it said, it was fun until we started trying. And there's Fortnite I think it's just irreversible damage. Just like the world, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't go back. I'm pretty sure everyone who played, yeah, everyone who played back in the day wants to go back. No one likes the new updates. I definitely don't. I would much rather take Season 1 over what we have now. But yeah, like, just not what we have now, because eventually I think they started trying too much, the developers. Because they've naturally made an amazing game. They accidentally made one of the greatest games in the world. Like, it made a freaking history. Because it was just so addicting, it was so fun. It was amazing. And no matter all the memes and all the people who say, yeah, there's like all the memes and people who say that like Fortnite is trash, but I mean, it only became trash after it got ruined. Like, it was fun and it was a good game until everyone started actually trying, until everyone actually started caring. It's the same, it's like with Call of Duty. Like, back in the day, you would just play and have fun, but now everyone's a sweat, everyone tries and everyone rages. But yeah, they're always so toxic when you die. Like, why can't it just go back to being a game? Because at that point, I don't even think it's a game anymore. It's just a competition. It's just a job. It feels like a task just to play the game. I know, it's like... Yeah, there's like people who only play video games after after they get out of work or something, because they're just trying to like have a good time. And then there's those people who play 12 hours a day, and they utterly clap the person who's just trying to have fun, and then they call them trash. Like, why can't you just let everyone have their own fun? Why can't you just... Yeah. Yeah, and like... It's so weird, because I remember when I was a kid looking up at the high schoolers, how I never imagined myself being them. And now that we're here, I want to go back and I can't. I don't want to be this way anymore. I don't want to be older anymore. I want to... But there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to go back. All we can do is regret what we didn't do, regret the shots we didn't take. So many things that could have happened differently. There's probably lives that we could have changed. But at the same time, we shouldn't feel bad about it, because there's nothing we can do. But, I mean, you can't help but regret it. I know, it's like, and at the time, it didn't seem like much, but once you look back, you just realize the impact it had on your life. I don't want to be... It's so weird being... Basically, we're pretty close to adults now. And I remember, like, when I was... Like I said, when I was a little kid, and I played on, like, my Xbox 360, I thought those, like, high schoolers that were, like, so good at the game were cool. Now I'm one of them. Like, there's these little kids who look up to me just because I'm good at the game, just because I'm older than them. And it's so weird. Yeah, like, everything seems so simple when you're little. And I don't want to be that guy who's never gonna log on again. You know all those memes about, like, last online 3 years ago? I'm gonna be one of them one day. And I mean, I know I don't want to do that to someone. I don't want it to happen. Yeah, but things happen. Like, right now, it's so also, like, the weird things about the internet are, like, if someone you know online dies, how are you really supposed to know? One day they just won't get back on. I know, I don't even remember most of their names. They, like I said, they very well could be dead. Because anything could happen, and I have no idea. How am I supposed to know? I know, and some people don't even get yearbooks, like, so they're just gone. I don't like how the world revolves around money, because, like, imagine if the way the world would collapse if we took away money. There was this one episode that I remember on Rick and Morty, where they changed the money value to 0, and the entire, like, world collapsed. Which, that would happen, because right now, if you went up to, to someone, right, and you told them to do something, they're not gonna do it unless you pay them. So if there's no money, no one would want to do anything. The reason that people do things is because they get a reward, they get money. And you can use money for whatever you want. You can get so many things that make you happy. You can get entertainment. And I mean, importantly, you can pay for your family. You can buy food. You can pay for your house. But without that, oh yeah, and people who can't afford to pay for their health. Some people can't have, like, medical insurance. Yeah. And I just wish it wasn't like that, because what are they supposed to do about it? I know, it's like, if you're poor, you can't do anything about it. Because, like, I guarantee you, almost all of the time, you aren't poor by choice. It's not because you don't work hard. It's not because you don't put in the effort. You just, your conditions, they don't let you. Like, if you live in Africa, and you're just one of those, if you're just one of those people who has to live their life farming to provide for their family, you don't have nearly as much of a chance. You probably have close to a 0% chance to actually be successful, but just some random kid in America has a much better chance, because they live in America. Also, what I hate is education isn't actually important because it educates you. It's just important because society says it is. In reality, if I got a job, like if I got an office job, I'm not going to need to know any mathematical equations. I'm not going to, yeah, I'm going to need basic math probably to use like a computer and all that. But I'm not going to need to know about cells. Yeah. I'm not going to need to know anything about cells and biology, but there's nothing we can do about it. We can't just skip that part. And also, I really, really don't like how school uses up our, like, best years, because, I mean, obviously you're not going to go to school when you're old. You have to go to school when you're a kid. But, at the same time, it could be shorter. Yeah, it could be shorter. There's so many things that we can cut out. Even in lunch, like, you could have lunch at home. Yeah, some people need to have lunch at school, but there's so many things that we could cut out that are just useless. And you could choose, for example, if I wanted to be a biologist, then yeah, let me go to biology class. But if I'm not going to be a biologist, why do I need to go to biology class? I could go home early if I just skipped biology. And then I could live my life better. I could, yeah, we get more time to ourselves because, yeah, the world before like modern times was bad because we didn't have medicine and all that, but they really didn't have school, so they got to live their lives all they wanted. They got to just go outside and do whatever medieval people did. But nowadays, and until you're 18, once you're 18, you're an adult, which means you don't really get to live your child years very well. You're stressed with school, you're kept up with school, and the worst part about it is they say, well, school isn't really that long. You still get a couple of hours after school, but you still have to do all that work after school because they assign you homework. I know, like, and it just hurts that we're talking about this, and there's nothing we can do about it. We have so many ideas on how we could improve it, but they're not going to listen because we're kids. And if we try to say, can we not get as much work because it's honestly useless, they're just going to say, well, you're lazy. You're just lazy. You don't want to do the work. And yeah, it is, because they won't listen to you over something you can't control. Like they just won't listen to you because you're young and they think that they know better. But how am I supposed to choose whether or not I was born in my year? Also, why wouldn't I be the one who knows better? Because it's my education. I'm the one who gets to choose my life. They can't control it. Yet they somehow do. It's just, I just really, really hate that we can't do anything about it. I mean, imagine if we got every single student to band together and we actually, like, protest. I can almost guarantee that it's still not gonna work. They're just gonna shut it down. And everything's gonna go back to how it used to. Maybe there'll be a couple of changes, but they're not gonna give us everything we wanted. Yeah, I know. It's like... yeah, they're gonna use whatever they have in their power. And I don't like that they have power. Like, why do they get power over us? They have authority. And yeah. It's you know what I told you about Trump, how he spent 130 million on golf? He used the taxpayer money for that. So why are we forced to pay for taxes and we don't even get to choose where they go? If someone pays for taxes, they're helping out, like, police departments, because police departments, their funds come almost exclusively from taxpayers. If I had, like, when I pay taxes, I wish it would let me choose, like, where I want my taxes to go, because I want to send them to, like, firefighters, hospitals, whatever needs it, not a rich guy who wants to golf. It's stupid, because we're forced to pay. In prison, I don't like prison because, yeah, some people deserve to go to prison, like if you kill someone, right? But why does it have to be so miserable? Like, I understand that they deserve to go to prison because they killed someone, but you also have to have some sympathy because, like, we only get one life. We only get one life. And yeah, I guess they shouldn't be allowed back into, like, society because they might do it again. But at the same time, at least give them a decent life in prison, because they're not going to get to live their life, and we only get one. So how sad it is that they're just going to have to live behind bars, not being able to go anywhere. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get jobs. Everyone's going to look at you differently. You're not going to be able to do anything with your life. And there's a lot of people who got out of prison and are so unadjusted because they were in prison when phones, like, they were in prison when the first iPhone came out. So they're so surprised because, like, literally, what is an iPhone? How do you explain an iPhone to someone who was born before they came? Like, they were in prison before iPhones came out. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That happens a lot. They get some people got put into prison before fingerprints, so they have no way to prove that it wasn't them. And I saw that he got freed because of fingerprints. They found the original fingerprints and they discovered that it actually wasn't him. So they let him free, but he deserves money, and he deserves something. He needs something for all the time that he lost, because he lost his best years, he lost his life basically in prison. He left once he's old. So now he's just not gonna get to live. Yeah. It's so sad that some people just don't get to live their lives. And some people don't get to live their lives even if they're not in prison, because just, like I said, either the conditions of where they live, or they just got stuck in a job that barely did anything for them. Yeah. There probably won't be another time like this. 2020 is a historical year where everything is going wrong. And if we survive, we're gonna be the strongest generation. Like, we had to survive a pandemic. There's all sorts of bees. There's wasps. There's, what are they called? There's like, cicadas. 1 million cicadas. Yeah. And then there was like a whole bunch of bugs. Was it? I don't know if it was the cicadas, but there was like a whole bunch of things eating the crops in Africa. There's like millions of bugs eating all the crops in Africa, and there's nothing they can do about it. It was some sort of bug, and they, like, ducks eat them, so they sent 100,000 ducks to Africa to eat the bugs. I know. Everything takes time. And there's so many irreversible things with... Honestly, it's just... It makes me mad to think about how much humans have changed everything. Like, have you seen pictures of what the original crops used to look like, of what corn used to be? And we changed it so much. We put so many like chemicals in it. Like, it's not even a food anymore. It's so many people that have been affected by it because we just put chemicals. We didn't know what the chemicals did, but we put them in there. And it's just... life is just so complicated. But it's just... we're talking about this, right? And it just makes me so mad that we talk about all these issues and there's nothing we can do. Whether it's our age or the fact that we don't have money, there's just nothing we can do about it. Yeah, it's like... why do people have to be racist? I don't understand how people can be racist, because like I said, we're 99.9% similar in that tiniest little piece is what makes you a different color from someone, and that's what judges how you think of them. That tiniest molecule of a person that changed their skin color, and now you just think they're less than you. Now you're not gonna trust them. They're gonna be rude to them. Maybe you're even gonna kill them just because they're not the same color as you. And like, some people are naturally racist, like they don't mean to be, but that kind of racist isn't really that bad. Like, yeah, some people, there's like some people who are, yeah. Yeah, like maybe they pay extra attention to a black person that's in a store because they think they're gonna steal something. But I mean, it's not that bad compared to people who literally hurt other races just because of how they think of them. And I don't think we'll ever reach a point where there is no racism, but we can at least make it better. We can at least, yeah. It's the same thing I was talking about with global warming. It's not about whether or not the planet is gonna get hotter. It's about when it's gonna get hotter, because it's already happening. And we can't stop it. Which is another thing that makes me mad, like...
Yeah,
how could the...
that,
Continue.
talking about that, like, ever since we all got forced to stay inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Earth has been healing itself.
Oh, yeah, I saw
It
those
looks
kinds of
better.
things. It's repairing itself because we aren't driving as much, we aren't going outside as much.
We are messing it up.
And yet there's people who go outside every day. I'm not talking about essential workers who have to go outside. I'm talking about people who go outside just to go outside, and it's so stupid. I really don't think that they should have opened, like, the malls and stuff like that. Because you're just allowing people to go back. Like, for example, like, they opened up the beaches. You don't need to go to the beach. You shouldn't go to the beach right now, yeah. Just let the planet heal, because there's no doubt the government can't keep us in. Like, if they try to keep the quarantine on forever, like, if you like something like that, that way the planet would heal. Yeah, the planet would heal if we all just stopped driving our cars, but the government is never going to be able to stop us from doing that. Because no matter what, the government doesn't have control over the people. Because what I always think is, why are we so scared of the government? Because if the government kills all the people against it, then it doesn't have people anymore. If we don't like what the government is doing, just riot, and if they don't change it, what are they gonna do? They're not a government without a people. And if they want a people, they're gonna have to keep their people happy. So, yeah. Well, I know what you mean. Like, what do you think the government's gonna do if we all just don't pay our taxes? But, like, we could literally all we could all try and boycott something, but there's gonna be people who are still gonna do it. So, it's just another thing I hate about the human race. We're never gonna all work together. We're all so damn different. There's so many different cultures, there's so many different types of people out there that we just can't work together. Not anymore. We can't work with North Korea, we can't work with China because of how our relations are with them. I don't understand the world. It's so difficult to understand. I don't know how people can't see this president, like, how ignorant he is. He's not fit to be a president, yet there's people who still vote for him. You know, I don't like boomers and all that, you know. It's the way they are. Yeah, they don't accept the way that the world changed, and they just don't like it. But it's scary because boomers are old, but sadly they control everything because they're the generation that they have their turn of being in charge. But what's scary is boomers are gonna die, and now we're gonna be in charge. And it's so scary because if you think about it, they're literally just they're handing us a planet that is so completely destroyed and demolished, and they're just going peace out and leaving. What are we supposed to do? It's like handing someone a bomb that's ticking, and like, yeah, it's like it's like giving someone a bomb, but if they let go, it's gonna explode. Because if we don't do anything, it's obviously the Earth is gonna die. But we can't pass this problem on to anyone else because boomers already passed it on to us. Boomers passed it to us, and we're the generation who has to deal with it. And I hate that. Yeah, it's almost our turn. That's so scary. In 3 years, it's gonna be my turn to be the adult generation. Do you know how fast that went by? I don't remember how easy school days. I literally just remembered that 9th grade is basically over. Like, we're going on to 10th. And by the time we realize, we're already going to be in 11th. By the time we realize, we're going to be in 12th. And then we're going to be thrusted out. Because another thing that I think is scary is, if you think about it, right now, we at least have a routine. Like, we go to school, and we do whatever we have to do. Then we go home, go to sleep, and then we go to school again, right? But what are we gonna do after school? We're not gonna have a place to go. Until we get work. But we're not really gonna have a place to go. Also, it's gonna be so difficult adjusting because for 12 goddamn years, we were forced to go to the same place, generally the same place. Like, technically, yeah, you could move schools, but you still have to go to a school. We were forced to go to schools every single day. Well, not every, but you know what I mean. We had to go to school, and then all of a sudden, school's not going to want us anymore. We're not going to be able to go to school because we're adults now. It's so confusing and scary how fast the world moves. What did you... Wait, you were lagging. What did you say? Wait. Wait, talk again? Yeah, there we go. Alright, you lagged. I didn't hear what you said. Yeah. Like, we still have the boys to understand us. Because we're in this together. We're in the same grade. We're pretty much the same age. So we understand what it's like. We understand what we're going through. Because we're all basically going through the same thing. So at least we have the boys with us, but still, it's... I just hope we stay together after high school. I know, it's... like I said, I just hope we have each other after school. Because we met each other through school, and we wouldn't have met if it wasn't for school. I've met a lot of people specifically because of school, but... yeah, like, if we didn't go to school, how am I supposed to meet people? So, yeah, that's, like, the one good thing that I've gotten out of school, is I've actually met people like you that I get to be with. Like, I can actually hang out with you, and I can talk to you, but... yeah. And I think it's even greater that we're born in this generation, because if we don't go out in real life, we still have the internet where we can talk to each other. We can play games together. Yeah. But, why? It's just, when you think about it, we're so powerless. There's nothing we can do to change the world. Which is another reason why, like I said, my goal in life is just to have a family, have a job that I like doing, and be remembered. I want to do something for the world. But it's gonna be so difficult to do something for the world. It's... I hope... what I... Like... It feels like we're just being thrown into adulthood. I can't grasp the concept of us already basically being adults. We're supposed to be responsible for ourselves at this point. We're 15, we're close to being 16, in literally 3 years, which is nothing if you think about it. 3 years, and we are the adults. School has been our life. Yeah, they don't teach us how to do things. Why can't there just be a class to teach us how to not go to school? Because I'm pretty sure after I graduate, I'm still gonna wake up and like want to go to school. And then all of a sudden I'm gonna realize, wait, I'm not in school anymore. It's like, yeah. I just really hate that you only get your childhood once. You know, the experience of, like, for example, like going to school, or like, I still kind of remember my experience of like going to kindergarten for the first time and meeting all those kids and being excited to like meet those people because we were kids. I still remember when I actually felt excited about things, and yeah, I still get excited about things, but it's not the same kind of childhood innocence. It's completely different now. Yeah, it's... And they just go by so fast.